Music. One of the greatest human experiences that we can have on this planet is listening to music. But why? Why does music sound so damn good? No, but seriously, like, why? Why, when I'm driving through the six and I'm listening to Views, I get this sort of, buzz? I get this high. Why is there something so damn satisfying to bumping some music? In 2001, at McGill University in Montreal, two neuroscientists by the name of Anne Blood and Robert Zatorre tried to figure out this question. They found that listening to music activated two regions of the brain, the limbic region and the paralimbic region. They found that when you listen to music, these two areas would activate and you would get a dopamine rush, which, if you don't know what dopamine is, it's essentially the pleasure hormone. Stuff like food, sex, and even drugs can give us a similar dopamine rush. But unlike food, which is, necessary for survival, and sex, which is also necessary for survival, unless you're a League of Legends player, music isn't necessary. Like, you can live without music. It's not something that you technically need. It's more of a want. So why does it give us that same dopamine rush that we have from stuff like food or sex? To first understand why music sounds so good, we first need to understand what even is music. Music is composed of 6 elements, these being dynamics, rhythm, pitch, form, timbre, and texture. Let's quickly go over what they mean. Dynamics is essentially how loud or soft a sound is. So, for example, if I were to turn up the volume all the way up on my piano, if I were to play a song, it would be loud. It would be forte, which is loud in music terms. And if I were to turn it all the way down, it would be piano, which is essentially soft in music terms. So, essentially, dynamics is how loud or soft a piece is being played. Rhythm is pretty straightforward. It's essentially the beat of the song. So, if I'm playing a beat quickly, like this, the rhythm is quick. It's fast tempoed. But if I'm playing it slow, the rhythm is slow. It's slow paced. It has a slow tempo. Pitch is probably the easiest one to understand. It's essentially what key you are playing certain notes in. So, for example, this is C, this is G, this is A. These all have different pitches. So, A is lower than C, and G is lower than A. Then there's also C, and then you have the C below it, and then you have the C below it. So there are different pitches in music. Form is essentially the structure of the song. It's how the song itself is structured and played. So, for example, what I just played sounded like a song, but it only sounds like a song because certain sections are where exactly they need to be. Songs are composed of sections. If second quarter of that song switched over with the fourth quarter of that song, it might maybe not make sense in a musical way and it might not sound like a song. Because I played it the way it's meant to be played, it sounds like a song, and that's what form is all about. All about playing the correct sections of the song in the correct order. Timbre is the sound that the instrument itself makes. So, for example, here we're playing a piano. But here we're playing something that's completely different. Each instrument will have its own unique sound that differentiates it from another instrument. Last, we have texture, which is the combination of different layers of sound into music. So, for example, if we're just playing a song on the right side of the keyboard, that's not really a song. It's just one instrument we're playing. It can be, but let's be real here, majority of songs don't sound like that. But if we were to use both hands, that's different. We're playing an actual song right now. We're using multiple instruments into one song. What makes a song is a combination of all 6 of these elements. So, for example, dynamics. That's 1. The timbre, the sound of the instrument. That's 2. The pitch. That's 3. Right? The rhythm. That's 4. And then the texture. That's 5. And then, to finish it off, the form, the structure of the song. We as humans tend to have certain standards for the music that we enjoy. We tend to have standards when it comes to the elements of music. For example, when it comes to dynamics, we don't like songs that are too soft and quiet to the point we can't hear them, and we don't like songs that are too loud because that hurts our ears. Rhythm, for example, we don't like songs that are too slow because then they're not even really songs. And we don't like songs that are too quick because then they're just chaotic and all over the place. And it's not pretty to listen to. Pitch is another thing. There are certain pitches that we cannot hear. For example, if a pitch goes too high, we can't hear that. If a pitch goes too low, it just sounds like it came from the depths of hell. Form, we like certain forms in our songs. We like songs to have a certain form to them, a certain structure. We do not want songs to be chaotic. We like order. And order all comes down to form. Timbre. Certain instruments sound nice and remind us of things and memories that we made along our life path. And texture, of course, the last one. We like to hear a variety of instruments coming together to form a melody. In general, there's lots of different reasons as to why music sounds good. For example, one of them being that music is a really complex expression. It is a sound that fills our ears with information. And we as humans love information because we have evolved to be very curious. Another reason is that music is also mathematical. Hearing a chord played at the perfect timing to the beat of the song is something satisfying to hear. Hearing that thing over and over again produces a sort of pattern that our brains like because our brains are really into patterns. We are pattern seekers. Music can also remind us of things. It can paint a sort of picture, right? Lyrics as well can paint a sort of picture. Lyrics are a very important part of music. Lyrics can help portray a message of what the song is trying to portray. And we humans love messages in the stuff we consume. Because for some fucking odd reason, humans just have to be really quirky and have to find meaning in the smallest of things. The reason we might even like music might be due to our ancient ancestors. Back then in the tribal era, music was performed in groups and would help strengthen social bonds. Essentially, music is almost like a form of communication. It's a form of portraying a message towards one another of yes, we are human. What we have defined as music is what has transcended and what our brains/ears have accustomed to. So, the question of why do we like music doesn't have a simple answer. It's more a combination of a multitude of answers. Leonard Meyer, who aka was a composer, author, and a philosopher, brought up an interesting point. He said that when we listen to music, or when we're trying to listen to music, we produce a certain expectation. An expectation that would meet our standards of the 6 elements of music. When we listen to songs, either two things are going to happen. Our expectations are going to be met, and we're going to get a dopamine rush, or our expectations aren't going to be met, but we're going to continue finding music that will meet our expectations because we crave that dopamine rush. And that's why we get addicted at looking for music. What's interesting about music is how subjective it is, especially when applied to different cultures. It seems like music evolves differently depending on the location of where it came from. Different cultures have different types of music they enjoy. This had me thinking, perhaps in the future when we come across aliens, chances are their music will be different from ours, the same way that different cultures have different types of music. Now, different cultures on Earth have different music types. At the end of the day, no matter what culture we're from, we're still all human. But aliens are not human, which means that their music is probably going to be more different than our music, which means that the differences between our music and their music are going to be greater than the differences between one culture's music here on planet Earth and another culture's music here on planet Earth. Perhaps alien music doesn't sound like music to us, but to aliens it might sound like music to them. Maybe even alien music is superior to ours, and if we listen to it, we'll get an extra dopamine rush, the likes of which we would never have imagined. Who knows what kind of music is out there in the cosmos? To sum it all up, there isn't just one main reason as to why music sounds good, but multiple reasons. Whether it be the fact that music helped us form social bonds in the tribal era, or the fact that music is composed of 6 elements, each with their own unique properties that give it that sort of charm of music. Even the fact that music can help give our lives meaning while the empty void of non-existence comes closer to consuming us each passing day is a valid reason for why we like music. Whenever you are free during leisure time, but only when you are genuinely 100% free and you have nothing better to be doing, okay? Don't procrastinate. When you leave this video, go do something useful. Whenever you are free during leisure time, I recommend looking for music. Music that matches your style. Music that will help you be more productive. Or whatever you need music for. I believe that music is far more powerful than people think it is. I believe that when we listen to music, certain emotions are unlocked that makes us feel different from any other human experience. During the worst of times, music can take us to another cinematic world. During the best of times, music can highlight the takes this cinematic world. For music is amazing. For music is an amazing bliss of mellow expression.